So artificial intelligence is one of them, and artificial intelligence is actually changing the means by which we might arrive at where we're going. The second is neurotechnology. As Salim mentioned, I am a neurotechnologist. I build brain-computer interfaces. I've been mapping consciousness in the OR for a long time. And now we're going to merge that with synthetic biology. So imagine that artificial intelligence, neurotechnology, and synthetic biology are having a baby. Okay, yeah, I know, it's kind of kinky. So, artificial intelligence, let's start with AI and see where that might bring us in the realm of biology. The first thing to take note of is, again, we're going back to the basics. We're going back to the curves that Salim told us about. This is a graph of compute power on the y-axis, and it's logarithmic, okay? So the steps aren't linear, they're logarithmic. And time on the x-axis. And we start in 1950 because that's the approximate birthplace of artificial intelligence. And what you can see is from 1950 to 2010, the increase in compute power was exponential. There was about a doubling every 21 months or so. However, you can see in 2010, around the time we started working now with things like generative AI and transformer models, there has now been a doubling every 6 months. Another very interesting thing is, so that's what you see there, I want to take you to 1982, let's see if that works, backpropagation. So why is that important in the birth of artificial intelligence? Well, last October, John Hopfield got the Nobel Prize in physics for backpropagation. Backpropagation is this idea that we can actually build into artificial circuits in silicon, that we can build in memory. That is what a human neural network does, and that's why that was so important. Now, he shared the Nobel Prize with someone else who was also foundational to the birth of artificial intelligence. This is Geoffrey Hinton. He's a Canadian, just like Salim, and he actually used statistics to create this idea of Boltzmann machines. All right, so the two of them share the Nobel Prize in physics for this, but last year something else interesting happened, and this is related to the idea of developing these biological singularities.